I had a dream, and I still have a dream, and always have a dream. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, let me speak about a journey we made since 1975, 2015, respectively 2019. Let's speak about football, not soccer, football. 1975, it was the time when Gerald Ford was the President of the United States, Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay, he was the box champion, and I, sorry to say that, Joseph Sepp Blatter, I took my job at FIFA in February 75. And what have I found in FIFA? A secretariat organized with 11 people, only 11. But 11, it's very important for football, because it is 11 aside. But I came in as number 12. Can you imagine, number 12? At that time, he never played because there were no substitutions. And I come to FIFA as a substitute? No, this is not the case. And the FIFA organized one competition, one big competition. It was the World Cup. So I got a clear mission. A clear mission, make this game society compatible. Make it. So how can I do it? First of all, I need support for the game. All the technicians, they are developing the game around the world, the big coaches, etc. But secondly, and I forgot to say, in FIFA was all that, but not one single dollar or Swiss franc. No money. So to develop, to go into a program, you need money. So I have the technical part. Where I get the money? They are sponsors, and later we found then also that television would be a good part of our game. But at the beginning, I need a sponsor. And I found it. I found it with the Coca-Cola company in Atlanta, and already end of 75, we had the consensus. They will start with us development programs and youth competitions. And how to reach now this goal, because we are in football, so we go for goal. Then, after this opening, I have to say, other participants we needed. And which are the participants? The players, the coaches, players, men and women, the coaches, the referees, and the fans, and the media. Don't forget the media for the promotion of everything, and the ball. The game is great. In Great Britain, or the English, what they have said, we have created a game. It is a beautiful game. I agree, it is still a beautiful game, but it has changed a little bit. So therefore, this game brings all what we need in our life, finally. Entertainment, yeah. Emotion, more. Passion, and it is drama in football and even tragedy. You know when football goes to tragedy? When you go to extra time and then you go to penalty kicks. That's a tragedy, because football loses its essence, 11 against 11. There is 1 against 1, and it's a tragedy. But the tragedy, football, is a copy of the Greek tragedy, unity of time, unity of lieu, and unity of action. But you don't know the issue, is football. So in the meantime, with all this development, we had 2 billion people around the world, 2 billion. There is no other organization, being political, being religious, being in population, 2 billion people. Football, we have these 2 billion people. So what shall we do with these 2 billion people? To put them into our society. How we did it? We did it because we developed the game become compatible. It was a social, cultural event. And then with the inclusion, what I said, sponsors, television, and all the interest of the market, it is an exceptional marketing part in today's life, not only for football, but in the world, what football has brought in. And when you are in social, cultural, and you are in economy, then automatically you are in political interest. And here we have to be a little bit careful, because we want to help in politics, and we like for the interests, but we don't need or we don't like that they take our game. Well, by the way, you have realized that in all the big games, in the grandstands, tribune d'honneur, they are all now with politicians. They welcome each other in front of television and to say how much we enjoy the game. That's football. So what I have done personally for that? A lot, yes. I dedicated my life. Started 75. I dedicated my life. What I had at the time, the wisdom, the skill, the experiences. And I had a plan, and I had a vision, and I have realized this vision. But I had also some luck. If you are not lucky, your enterprise, at the end, you can have all assets, it will not work. What are this team that I brought together then to work? I was the captain of the team and a little bit also the team manager. And I worked with dynamism, motivation, communication, human relations at all levels. Human relations, that's our game. In confidence and in trust. So we came in 2015 and we had a wonderful FIFA in 2015. By the way, I was re-elected in 2015 in Zurich. It was great, great, great. We had $1.5 billion as reserves. We had, let's say, an important cash amount for daily businesses. And you know what they did in 2015? The ethics committee of FIFA suspended me for bad performances in my management. I'm still suspended, but I'm not in jail. I'm just suspended. And what is FIFA now? And how long and how far and where can FIFA go? With the expansion of all the competitions, there is an overload of the international calendar. We have asked the community in football if we can have 500 days a year and not 366 as we have this year, but it has not been accepted. So we have to ask the question, is there too much football? Is football too big to fail? Or will football never end because it is this wonderful movement, kicking a ball and going towards a goal? It's a question, interrogation point. Thank you.
Thanks. So, Mr. Blatter, we are sitting here in front of a room of people who are very successful or hopeful that they will be successful. And the thing with success is that you always think it will go on and on. Theoretically, you know, there are some pitfalls, there can be some pitfalls, but theoretically. And your downfall of epic proportions. One day the most powerful man in football, and on the next day banned by your own people. My first question would be, is there any way to prepare oneself for that kind of experience?
Yes, but it was not for me. Unfortunately, no. But your question, sure. And one should be prepared one day to stop where we go. And it comes a time when you say you have done enough, or you have realized what you have done, and then you have to think about. But the time I wanted to think about that, it was after my election when I said, this is my last one, I will put my office at disposal in the future. Then I was suspended. I said that one day, it's like all the house was coming down. And my dream, and at that time I had another dream for the World Cup. When I started to be president, already as Secretary General, we started to go around the world. Because before, all the World Cups were played in Europe or in the Americas, north or south. There was no alternative. So in 2002, we started to go to Asia. And we were in Korea and Japan as a co-host, which is not the best solution, but we did it. It was finally a good World Cup. You know, the political situation of these two countries is still not solved, actually. They are not in a peace situation, they're in a not aggression situation. It's different. And then I said, when I become president, we shall go one day to Africa. And we went to Africa, South Africa. And then we had this famous idea one day to say we will decide 2 World Cups on the same time. It was this famous day, the 2nd of December 2010. And this is a historical date for the FIFA, for me, for the world. We have decided to go with the World Cups 2018 and 2022. My dream, not only my dream, it was practically accepted and consensus by the Executive Committee to Europe in 18. This has been realized. We went to Russia. And to 22, we go to the United States of America, because in the rotation of the World Cup, it would have been North America to get the World Cup in that year.
And clearly, football is your life.
Yes.
Everyone knows now. But you told me when we talked before, since this day in 2015, you haven't been back to your old office.
I just have to say what has happened. It was done, everything. And 1 week or 10 days before the decision had been taken, a head of state in Europe intervened by a member of the FIFA Executive Committee by supporting the decision for 2022 not to go to the United States, but to go to Qatar. And would we have been in the United States? That was my dream, because after the World Cup 2010, we have introduced in FIFA, together with the Institute of the Nobel Prize of Peace in Norway, introduced the handshake for peace. You see still in the football how they shake hands for peace. And I wanted in my dream to have Russia on one side and USA on the other side. And this dream, I woke up and it was over. And this was the end. Otherwise, this date all has started, let's say, detrimental for me.
I mean, I promised that we would talk about survival. Maybe people can take a lesson away, because clearly you're back in good shape, back on your feet. So what did you do during the last 5 years to overcome this ouster from your world, from your dream, to make FIFA bigger and better?
I was crying. No, that's not true.
You got very ill after that.
Yeah.
You had a heart attack, or what was it? You were in hospital.
Yeah, but it was for me like the end, not only of the dream, the end of something I have worked for my life, to bring people together. This is football, bring people together to construct bridges and not walls. And then at a sudden, coming from inside the FIFA, I was there, and then I was shocked. I had a problem a little bit with my health. I had to go somewhere for a few days. But then I came back and I was fighting. And I'm still fighting, because if you stop fighting for your rights or for yourself, then something is wrong. But when I am in meditation and going backwards and to look, what is the end of a career and who is responsible for the end of the career? It's always the individual. It's not the company. It's himself. That's my opinion. And I am responsible for what has happened to me, finally. I cannot say the others are responsible. But you cannot change the history. The history is reality, and therefore, this is there. So what I did, I started again to work. I was writing books. I was making conferences. And I still believe in the good of our world. I believe in football. I believe in the connection of people. I believe in God. And I believe in myself. I have to believe myself. Everybody has to believe in himself. How can he trust somebody else? He does not know who he is. This is very important. And this is also not only an experiment, this I have learned. And I have to say that I am a happy man now. What is happiness? Happiness is when you feel good and when you have your conscience, if you are in community, with your heart, with your spirit, and with yourself. That's important. And I am at this moment, but I had a difficult period. But this means also, because I have seen the program you have had here, always says better, higher, longer. As they said in the Olympic Games, also now higher, longer. No, we should look at the world of today and to see what is feasible or what is not feasible. Because somewhere there must be an end of something. There must be an end. Because you cannot develop more and more. When you go into technology, or if you go in digitalization now, which is one of the themes you have had here, and then you see how far you can go. And with robots and all that. I was in a discussion in football, if in 50 years robots will play football. I say no, because football is based on the instinctive movement of the human being, which is kicking. They will always kick, and they will have a ball, and they will try to get a goal. That's it. But this is my life, happy life. Frustrated? No. I have been. But now I'm living in Zurich, and it's a good city. I am origin from the valley. My small family, I have one daughter, we have another daughter, so they are in Visp. It's the entry of Zermatt, Matterhorn. This is perhaps knowledge of everybody. But otherwise, I'm still following football. I am following football in geopolitics, trying to stop that football is going out to sell competitions, and especially the competition number one, because these are not the politicians coming in. This is economy. This is groupings of investors. They want to go to football, and they have realized that football is very attractive. You can see also in Europe, a lot of European clubs that are owned by Asian owners or American owners, not so much by Europeans, because they like football.
If I were losing my company and I would come to you for advice, I would ask, what would you advise me? What would it be? To stop reading papers where they make you the villain? Because, I mean, after you lost power, everyone wrote very bad things about you. So did you read what journalists were writing about you, or did you stop reading papers?
It was impossible to read everything because I am not such a multi-talent to get all this on the same time. I only had an answer or an indication by my daughter. She's my heart. She said, Dad, it's better you don't read all what they say about you. But I still love you. But it doesn't matter at that time, in 2015, the international media, I don't need to go to a court. I was already condemned, sanctioned, condemned, and even in jail. But it was a good jail, otherwise I couldn't be here. You know, in the media, and I have a lot of contacts with media, if they make a mistake somewhere, they accept they made it. It's difficult for them to admit something that they have. Then they make a kind of passage in the next or the third publications in a small corner, and they say, we are sorry what we have said there, but has nothing to do with the big story. He's a media man, so he knows that.
So, last question. I found a sentence made by you. In German it is, ich verzeihe jedem, aber ich vergesse nicht. In English it would be, I forgive everyone, but I don't forget anything. What did you mean with that? Or by that?
Because I know that some of my good friends, they have been in this attacking complot, and one can tell it this way, and they said, okay, I don't understand, but I pardon, because it said also in my believing, in my faithful thinking, I can pardon, but not forget. Things you cannot forget. You say perhaps, yeah, but it's no, you just put it somewhere away, and when this person is coming again, then you can arrange it. But the principle is, yes, pardon, but don't forget. And also don't forget to not repeat the same mistake you have made. Because the same mistake you have made, I was trust, confidence, too much. I made management instead to make management. It was a management by a hierarchy we made, but with a lot of trust, understanding, everybody, big family on all levels. It was wonderful with this president, drinking a coffee with everybody. And then you have realized that it was good, but control is also very good. If you are in a management, you need also to have a control. This I have learned in my military service in Switzerland. I was the commander of a regiment in the rank of a colonel, but we have not a professional army. But you learn something in this army. One thing is discipline, respect, and hierarchy. Again, nowadays, there is no more big command. It's also with understanding. But in management, and this was my error, even I can say mistake because I was punished. With an error, you can understand, but a mistake, you must be punished. This was my mistake, to be too confident with a lot of people around me and also with members of my board, because I had a very specific situation with members of my board. Starting in FIFA, this is red.
You can't see it. Very red.
Red.
So, forgive everyone, but don't forget.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sepp Blatter.